Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown, Dunkirk, and Westfield, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County. From supporting people with disabilities to enjoy great lives, to providing health care services that are available to anyone, the Resource Center has been improving our county for more than 60 years. Learn more about how the Resource Center makes a positive difference in people's lives. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. Well, it's another winter day, and it's 18 degrees here in Mayville. I'm not sure why it's always colder in Mayville. I don't know if it's the elevation or what the deal is. My house, it was like 22 or 23, something like that. But anyways, here we are at the seat of the county, and 18 degrees and windy. I want to say good morning to all of you that are watching right now, live on Spectrum 1301. For those of you that are streaming with us anywhere in the world, hi. Hope you are having a great day, and send us a little note. Let us know where you're streaming from. We just picked up someone from Tennessee last week that sent me an email and said they were watching the show, and they thought it was a lot of fun, and it was. Also, I want to say good afternoon to all my listeners on WRFA 107.9, Low Power to the People in Jamestown. So glad you could join us. We got a fun show in store for you. This is the show that we do every year that we assign seatbelts to all the staff, because my guest is high energy and he takes off on us, and we have to hold on for dear life. So hang on, it's going to be a lot of fun. It is a live show. He's already getting me going here. And you can give us a call at 716-753-5225. Why would you call us? Well, you may have a comment for my guest, or a question. You may have something that you want to announce, like a birthday, an anniversary, just to say hi to somebody. This is public access. We can do all that sort of thing. So please don't hesitate to do that. If you're shy and you don't want to talk to me live, you can just talk to the operator, and they're going to take a message and they'll hand it to me. Also during the week, if you're watching this later on, because we're on at 2 and 8 every day on Access Chautauqua 1301. You can email us, you can Twitter us, go to Facebook, and get a hold of us any way you want. And believe me, people, they do. I get emails quite often for different announcements. So glad to do it. We're here to serve you all. A few things that I have to comment on this morning is, I know this seems kind of odd, this announcement, but I'm going to share it with you anyways. My Rotary Club, my home club, the Westfield Mayville Rotary Club has been doing something really cool for the last 2 years, and I'm really proud to have been part of it. I think we're somewhere around 3,800 Christmas cards went out over the last 2 years. I think it was 1,800 the first year and 2,000 this year. Where do we send them? The VA residences, to nursing homes, to Meals on Wheels folks. And this is a sad note that I just heard the other day. If we had not done that, some people would not have received one Christmas card this year. Let that sink in. So why I'm talking about it right now is I'm going to ask you for your help. If you've got some Christmas cards that are leftovers, or some that, maybe you change your theme every year and those cards are just kind of piling up in the closet or under the bed or wherever, we're happy to take them. The only thing we ask is that the card has an envelope that goes with it that fits. I understand they spent hours sorting through envelopes and cards from the collection we got this year. But anyways, and the reason why I'm sharing this is because a year ago, someone did contact me, and I think I got 1,000 cards from this individual who had been sending it to veterans and so forth and wasn't doing this anymore. This box was heavy. I mean, I'm a pretty big guy, and it took all my strength to carry that box. So I know there's cards out there that would need a new home, and so you might say, well, how would I get them to dock? Well, there's a couple different ways. For those who are in the viewership right now, if you know any Rotarian in our area, the Westfield Mayville Rotary Club, you can contact one of them, or you can contact the Rotary number that we use for contact, and it's 716, right here locally, but it's 736-4255. You'll hear my voice come on, and just leave a message, and we'll come get the cards. Now, reasonable. Now, we want a bunch of cards. I'm not going to come over for 4, but if you got a box or 2 or 3, happy to do that. 736-4255 Christmas cards. And this could be from now till Christmas or wherever. We're getting started now. All right. Double masking. That seems to be the theme this week, I noticed. They're saying that these are 21% effective, but if you double mask, that you are up into the 90s now or something like that. So they're saying put the cloth mask on and then put your theme or whatever it is, the Buffalo Bills I saw come in today. I've got 18 different masks now, I think. In every pocket that I own, there's a mask, but they're saying double up. And for what it's worth, I'm sharing that. I've heard that. Buffalo Bills. Whoa, right on, you guys. Nobody asked you over there. Settle down. Oh, my God. How can you have a one-man operator behind the cameras and you get harassed every week? This is just unbelievable. Buffalo Bills did great. I don't care what anybody says or thinks. They did great, and they're on to a new dynasty. So congratulations to the Buffalo Bills and the fans that support them. Cool stuff. Brought to my attention today that there's something going on here in the Mayville area and all along the lake. Ice fishing. Well, there it is. There's a second one. I guess there are just droves of people. So if you're coming through the area, watch the traffic patterns. Watch for fishermen with hooks. I heard there's hundreds of them. I don't know if it's cabin fever or what's going on, but we all are reinventing ourselves this winter because of the pandemic. And so ice fish away. I guess panfish, perch are biting, but please be careful when you're out there on the lake. Check in with the locals about the thickness and don't go too far out there. But anyways, be mindful that there's a lot of ice fishing going on as we speak. All right. I think I've covered everything I wanted to under that area. So I'm going to share some community announcements, and then we'll get to my guest. All right. We talked about this last week, so we're just going to share it one more time. Anytime there's something new going on in the county, I love to grab it and share it with you, whether it's a new business or an activity or a club or organization. I think it's just cool that everybody knows this. So Lakewood, New York, just down the road, has a brand new flower and gift shop called the Pea Pod and Juniper. Now, we're telling you about it today because today's the grand opening. Okay, it's going to start an hour and 11 minutes from now, I guess. All right, owner Kimberly Carlson is excited to announce the opening of her new flower and gift shop, Pea Pod and Juniper, at 141 Chautauqua Avenue in the village of Lakewood. Kim Carlson started taking classes as floral design in high school with Nelson and Butts owner Becky Barnes. After graduating from Southwestern High School, she completed a one-year study in floral design and shop management in Connecticut. Upon returning to Jamestown, she worked full-time as an assistant manager at Gerton's Flowers and Gifts for 12 years. For the past 14 years, she has worked at Robo Enterprises, her family-owned business that was started by her grandpa, Augie Carlson, and her dad, George Carlson. After losing her dear son, Alex, to heroin overdose, and oh my God, every time I get to this point, I just think how many lives have been lost to drug overdose just in this region. So sad. Well, Kim had to reassemble herself, knowing how short life can be. She knew that it was time to follow her heart, and it led right to a flower shop. The name Pea Pod and Juniper comes from the inspiration and names of her dear grandchildren, Penelope, age 5, and Juniper, age 2. Those are cool names. Please join them for their grand opening celebration today, Saturday, January 30th, at 11 a.m. And since it's her birthday today, 20% off on all her favorite things, plus many fresh flowers and hourly giveaways until 6 p.m. And just to remind you, we are almost to the end of January, and Valentine's Day, Randy, is coming soon. So this might be someplace you want to check out. All right, we have a new slide. Library Advocacy Week. That's hard to say fast. All right. This is from our friend L.J. Martin, who's the coordinator of outreach and special projects for the Chautauqua Cattaraugus Library System, and she says the following: public libraries need support during Advocacy Week, which officially is the week of February 21 through the 27th. But the community is encouraged to write, call, and email at any time. To best help advocate, anyone can share a short story about the impact of their local library and ask that New York does not cut funding to our libraries. The current proposed New York budget has suggested a 7.5% cut to library funding, which could be detrimental. Huge. Let your representative know about your support for your local libraries. And of course, that's either George Borello or Andy Goodell, and you know how to get a hold of them. Their numbers are in the phone book. I won't go through all that. But this is going to be a tough year, as far as I know. Maybe in the next couple of years is going to be tough. So we have to advocate for those things that we feel important, and I hope that you feel that way too. Okay, let's see. Moving along, I've got this announcement from our friends at the Chamber of Commerce for Chautauqua County. All right. Shop Local CHQ continues growth. Gears up for Valentine's Day. All right. This is from our friend Todd Tranum, who's the director there. The holiday season may be over, but the Shop Local CHQ, and I even have my card here, right? Marketplace continues its work selling Chautauqua County goods and services. When a business joins the new Shop Local CHQ online marketplace, that business attracts attention and consumers all year long. Shop Local CHQ, or Chautauqua, is a platform designed specifically to help small local businesses market and sell their products and services. When it was launched just before Thanksgiving, there were 50 businesses participating. The number is now up to 67, and more are being added regularly. The marketplace has grown to feature over 350 local products. That's pretty amazing. 350. From the launch of Shop Local Chautauqua, the end of November through the end of December, the marketplace experienced 48,771 page views, and well over 50,000 consumers have been reached through social media advertising and post shares. Sounds like a good thing to sign up for. At the heart of everything the Chamber of Commerce does is a commitment to drive foot and internet traffic to local businesses in an effort to increase sales. Shop Local Chautauqua does just that and carries the process one step further by actually creating a platform for online sales even when a business doesn't have its own system to do so. Not everybody has all these big abilities to have these big flashy pages and presence on the internet, so this would be a great way. So if you're listening, you have a small business or mom and pop shop or something in your basement, I don't care. If you're trying to get your wares out there, check it out. Chamber of Commerce. Okay, they also want to remind you that they have some webinars, and they're going to be talking about vaccination challenges and opportunities. Holy moly, I guess. I don't know about you all, but It's really difficult to keep up on this topic of vaccinations. My guest said he lucked out, got his first one. I know some people out of the clear blue they got one, and then the other 99.9% of us are still wondering where it's going to be and when it's going to happen. But anyways, it's a growing series of Tuesday talks that they're offering. And they're proud to present a panel discussion around the COVID-19 vaccination challenges and opportunities. This event will be held Zoom webinar at 8:30 a.m. Tuesday, February 9. Their panelists will include Chautauqua Health Commissioner Christine Schuyler, who's been on the show, Dr. James Sherry, Executive Director of Chautauqua County Health Network, and additional panelists from the local medical community are still being confirmed. This program is free to attend, but donations are welcome, of course. It's sponsored by the Observer, the Post-Journal, the Univera Healthcare Southern Tier. Advanced registration is required, including an email for each attendee so that we can send a link to join the meeting. To register, visit the Chamber's online calendar at chautauquachamber.org. So, interesting information there, and they serve all of our businesses, trying to keep them up on what's going on. Speaking of businesses and economic development, our friend Mark Geist, Deputy County Executive for Economic Development in the IDA, has some stuff to share. And since they are one of our underwriters, I'm more than happy to share what's going on. So we'll give you the short version, but it says, these are his words now. We are thrilled that, as of this date, we have been able to allocate more than 80% of the funding provided by the EDA in less than 5 months. And in the process, help more than 40 businesses to not only endure, but create jobs. So important right now. Our incredible team at the IDA, Industrial Development Agency, has worked diligently to get this money out working in the community as quickly as possible, while ensuring that we are responsible, impartial, and address the EDA's guidelines. Okay, that's Economic Development Agency. Okay, the entities approved for round 2, and maybe you know some of these businesses and frequent them. The Service Manufacturing Group, Monofrax, Dahlstrom Rollform, the National Comedy Center, Southern Tier Environments for Living, oh boy, Kosciuszko Polish Home Association, Reglan Theater, Cleaners of Chautauqua, Faulkner Power Sports, Harley Davidson of Jamestown, Lynn Development, Ready About Sailing, Rocky's Karate, MKJM, The Landmark, Scott's Peak and Peak, Maple Springs Inn, Lido's Crescent Inn. He says it's impressive that the IDEA has been able to deploy to deploy a vast majority of the funding awarded by the ADA so expeditiously, thereby helping businesses and their employees at this critical time. Oh, this is from P.J. Wendell, the county executive. He also goes on and says it's also very encouraging to see that they have distributed the funding among many sectors, and that was quite a cross-section, to companies and nonprofits, large and small, and more than 110 jobs will be created in the process. That's awesome. According to Wendell, he says, I've said all along our comeback will be greater than our setback, and this funding is proof positive that we will not only recover, but we will have another economic development tool to spur investment in job creation in this county for years to come as an outcome of the pandemic. So they've given out lots and lots of money, and that's really cool, and that's what they do, and they're to help you. So we've got people watching over our businesses. We got folks that are watching over our health. So stay patient, and we'll get through this, as we've said, right along. So we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. This is for you.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Well, that's a new one. I hadn't seen that one. I like that one. You know, for what it's worth, I think most of us that have worked or are working today, they have the opportunity to create some type of retirement plan, like a 401 or 403 and so forth, IRAs or whatever is the tool that you use. And a friend of mine years ago sat in front of a bunch of teachers and said, you need to do this. You need to get into a 401 and blah, 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 blah. And I thought, oh, yeah, sure, okay, right. Well, we did, and it's worked out really well for us personally. And that's just something to think about for your own futures if you haven't done so. And it's never too late. So think about it. Feed the pig. Okay. Today I got my good friend Randy Anderson from the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. I'll get it in there, Randy, right? Who's been with me now we were trying to count the years. It's got to be 6 or 7 years now. It's been a lot of years, and it's so much fun to have you. And I know the pandemic has kind of goofed things up for you guys, but you trudge forward, and we're going to do that today. So good morning and welcome back.
Good morning, Doc. Thanks for having me. And let me make a couple of comments on the things you've been talking about.
Go for it.
I'm into what you're doing here. First of all, happy belated birthday.
Thank
Doc.
you. It happens every year about this time.
Yeah, and you're really good at them by now. Secondly,
practice makes perfect.
Your comment about the fishermen in Mayville, yeah. I think you and Randy and Jeff and the crew here are the only guys that aren't in a hut in all of Mayville this morning. When we came through on the way up here today, there's cars and trucks from the park clear up around the bend. I mean, it's just jammed full. There's several hundred huts out on.
I've never seen it like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I haven't seen it because I come in from Ripley, so I'm coming from the top
of
the lake. So I haven't got to the lake.
Do yourself a favor, and when you get done with your show today, take a cruise down around the corner. You're going to be stunned at how many people are enjoying the sport
I did ice fishing
fishing
a number of years ago, and I'm good. Jeff Zick, on the other hand, he's our pro. He's the man.
The other thing I wanted to comment about your advertisement for Peapod and Juniper.
Yeah.
I was in that store recently.
Were you?
Yeah, it's right on the main drag in Lakewood. I think it's called Chautauqua Avenue.
Chautauqua Avenue, the main drag. Yep.
Yeah, just as you come down the hill on Chautauqua Avenue, it's on the right-hand side. Kim Carlson is the owner of that. It's a nice little gift shop and florist shop, and she's doing a heck of a job there. And congratulations to Kim on her grand opening today.
You probably don't know this, but when I first came to Chautauqua County back in '74, it was January '74, so however many years ago that was, I lived right downtown Chautauqua, or Lakewood, on Chautauqua Avenue. There was a little, right, where the Muskie Lounge used to be.
Yes.
Right? Well, it was like, keep going towards the lake. I think it was the next building, and it was like an apartment building. There was like 4 apartments. I lived on the top floor.
Still there?
Still there.
I think there's a plaque out front noting that you were once.
Oh my God.
Doc Hamels slept here. You've seen those plaques all over. Wow.
Oh my God! I hope not.
The other thing,
my wife may take some
No. That's not what I meant at all. Thanks for the shout out to the Bills. I'm a huge Bills guy. Yeah. But not only that, but I want to call to your attention the rest of the NFL connections that are in Chautauqua County.
Well, that's what I said to you when you said, should we still have the show today? And I said, yes, of course, there's got to be some connection to this time of year. So
this, let's see, today's Saturday. 2 days ago, Stephen Carlson, tight end for the Cleveland Browns, Jamestown High School graduate of the class of 2014, came to the Hall of Fame on 3rd Street, and he donated his high school jersey.
Where's he playing for?
Cleveland Browns. He's a tight end for the Cleveland Browns.
No kidding. And they had a heck of a season, didn't they?
You aren't kidding. So after JHS, he played at Princeton.
Wow.
So he's not exactly a dumb rock. When you go to Princeton, you're the real deal. So he went to Princeton, got signed as a free agent with the Browns. He's completed 2 full years. So anyway, he came to the Hall of Fame this week and donated his high school jersey, which is significant because in 2014, Jamestown High School won the New York State Class A Class AA football championship. Steve was the star of the game. I think he made 18 tackles in one game and caught half a dozen passes, and so
He's a real standout, huh?
yeah, he's the real deal. So we got his high school jersey. A year ago, he'd come by and donated one of his Cleveland Browns jerseys to us.
No kidding.
So I'm just thrilled that a local guy who has made it big successfully is still thinking about his home.
So let's describe Steve. Is he a big guy or like?
Oh, he's I think he's 6'4", maybe 245, 250.
He's the same as me, but I'm just in a smaller pack. I'm just a little bit more compact.
Yeah, he's got like a body mass index of like 0. I mean, there isn't an ounce.
If you stretched me, I'd be the same way.
Yeah.
It all just sort of fell down in one spot.
And the other great NFL connection.
Yes, I know which one. I know where you're going.
The new coach, the new head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, is a Chautauqua County guy, Nick Siriani, Southwestern High School graduate. And we're going to get to more of the Siriani family in a minute. But Nick Siriani announced as the head coach of the Philadelphia
Eagles. So they made it official because he kept teasing
it out there. He had
his
official announcement yesterday. He had his first press conference. Doc, when you think about it, there's only 32 people in the whole country that have that job. The head coach of an NFL team.
Very awesome.
And one of them is from Chautauqua County. That's
awesome.
a big deal.
That is a big deal. Now who do we root for? Now we got three
So we got
teams.
the Bills. We're rooting for the Bills.
Bills all the way, for sure.
We're going to be rooting for the Browns,
Yes.
except on the days they play the Bills.
Right. That's a foregone conclusion.
And again, we're going to be cheering for the Eagles.
Nice. Very nice.
Because of
Very
Nick.
Cool. Well, good.
Isn't that wonderful to have that story?
I don't know how it was when you were growing up or even still, but people in various communities, they just beat themselves up. What's so good about this? Or
Exactly.
When I went to school there, blah, 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 blah. But this area is just way cool. And that's why this show is here, because we're talking about the cool stuff and you haven't let me down at all. And we continue this. This is a very cool area to live.
Little more trivia for you.
All right, here we go. More trivia.
Nick Siriani will be the third person from Chautauqua County to have tenure with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Really?
Jim McCusker, Jamestown graduate, Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh, played for the Philadelphia Eagles as an offensive left tackle in the 60s. He was on the 1960 World Championship Philadelphia Eagles team.
Wow.
So there's the first Eagle connection.
Great one.
The second Eagle connection is Bill Berge, graduate of Pine Valley High School, played middle linebacker for the Eagles in the 70s. One of the most feared middle linebackers in the history of the National Football League. So you got Jim McCusker, Bill Berge, and now Nick Siriani. 3 guys from Chautauqua County with Philadelphia Eagle connections.
Very, very cool.
That'll win you a bar bet somewhere.
Yeah, I could do this.
When they open up the bars.
Yeah.
You'll have to go to meters.
There you go. I'm sitting here going like, I'm responsible for a lot of information, but you're just peeling this stuff right off the top of your head. Is this all true or what? I make stuff up as I go along, but I want to know that. No, I'm just kidding.
I got a lot of useless information circling around up in here, Doc.
But it's very impressive. But the one thing I love having you on the show is your passion for sports and Chautauqua County. It's just really cool. It really comes out, and I always look forward to this show. So what do you got for us today?
Okay, well, usually at this time when I'm visiting you, we're plugging our upcoming Hall of Fame induction banquet. It's happened on President's Day for the last 39 years. This would have been our 40th year. Notice I said would have been our 40th year, which is quite a anniversary for us. But as all your listeners know, we've been closed down like everybody else. We cannot hold a banquet on President's Day like usual. But as soon as we get permission from the governor and the county health department, we will go ahead and have our banquet. Hopefully things will clear up by maybe the fall.
Right.
And we can get this done.
But we will do a virtual tribute nonetheless.
Exactly. But anyway, Doc, if you'll permit me, I'd like to introduce the people that we are going to induct.
Ladies
into
and
the Hall
gentlemen,
of
this is the
Fame.
point where I leave the studio, and now your host today will. Of course, take it away. You got the show.
Okay.
I'll just ask questions now and then.
That'd be great. So our first inductee that we're going to see, note our logo, 40 years. Look how clever we did that. Do you see the 40 in the middle of C?
Oh, now I see it.
F?
Whoa!
Isn't that clever?
I do see that.
I'd like to take credit for that. But
For those of you that are listening on the radio, you'll have to catch this. But the part of the H and the O, they pulled out the 4 and the O. That's cool because you know what? My wife's she's gonna kill me, but this is our same year. That was the year we were married in '81.
Really?
So we're coming up on the same anniversary.
awesome. Well, honoring and preserving the past, present, and the future of sports in Chautauqua County. So anyway, our first inductee that I'd like to talk about has the last name of Siriani. But it's
Rings a bell.
not. It's not Nick Siriani,
Okay, who is
the
it?
new coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. This is Michael Siriani. Michael is the oldest of 3 Siriani boys. He's the son of Amy and Fran Siriani. Fran Siriani is already an inductee of the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. He had a remarkable career as a coach at Southwestern Central.
Okay.
In fact, the athletic complex at Southwestern Central is called the Fran Siriani Athletic Complex. Well, this is his firstborn son, Michael. Michael was a great athlete at Southwestern, went on to Mount Union College, where he played football on the national championship team at Mount Union. He was a receiver. He was also a triple jumper on their track and field team.
You ever try that?
Yes, I did that when I was in junior high.
I hurt myself.
I would have been better at it, Doc, but I lost count. I got 1, 2, oh crap, now what?
That is not an easy thing. That and the high jump or whatever they call that thing, you got to do the flop over there. Oh my God, I can't do those things.
So anyway, Mike Siriani, like his dad and like his brothers, is a football coach. He is the football coach at Washington and Jefferson College in Washington, PA, just south of Pittsburgh.
Oh, I know where that is. Yeah.
He's been down there, I think, 17 years. He's won the conference championship, I think 9 out of those 17 years.
What do they have? This in their genes, or what's the story?
Well, they have a passion.
Live and breathe it. Huh?
They have a passion for the sport. In their family, they say, faith comes first, family comes second, and football comes third. Faith, family, and football.
God did
That's
3
the
Fs.
Siriani motto. So anyway, down at Washington and Jefferson, he's won over 80% of the games he's coached. He's one of the top Division III football coaches in America.
Wow.
And now he's got a brother that's the head coach in the NFL.
Oh, that's his brother.
That's his brother who's
you
the
didn't
head
make that
coach.
connection.
And he's got another brother in between himself and Nick. His middle brother, Jay, was the head coach at Southwestern Central for several years, and he won 2 New York State championships as the football coach at Southwestern. So this Siriani family is all about...
I'm trying to imagine a family reunion where they all bring their trophies. You'd have to rent a hall. Wow.
So Mike, I saw the quote in the paper that Mike had when his brother Nick got announced as the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, he says he's very happy for his younger brother to be the coach.
Yeah.
He says, but I've still won 180 games more than he has.
Like a true brother, that would have been my brother. Or my brother would have said, well, I taught him everything he knows. So who's that? Who you got
Okay,
next?
our next guy is, if we get the screen up, I'll tell you who he is. Yeah, this is Mark Tremuta. Mark Tremuta is a guy who's turned his love for a sport into a professional career once his playing days were over. Mark was a graduate of Fredonia Central.
Okay.
played all the sports at Fredonia, went to St. Bonaventure, played baseball on the St. Bonaventure team, was drafted by the Los Angeles Dodgers out of St. Bonaventure, and he played in their minor league system for a couple of years. He was a middle infielder. Then he got hired by the Baltimore Orioles to be a scout.
Okay.
Then the Toronto Blue Jays got a hold of him, and he started scouting for the Toronto Blue Jays. And then the New York Mets offered him a contract, and he has worked his way up through the New York Mets organization.
Lovely.
And right now he's the director, he's the head guy of amateur scouting for the New York Mets.
Wow.
Another guy from Chautauqua County that's doing big time stuff.
You know, and the weird thing is I'll bet most people, if they're, unless they read it in the paper, they're probably first time hearing some of these guys' names, and they're doing all this fabulous work.
Exactly. That's why I'm here, Doc.
Okay, keep going. All right, good on him.
Okay, the next photo.
Ooh, that's a good shot.
Yeah, look at that. That is Sarah Bogardus Burnett. Sarah Bogardus.
Say that 10 times fast.
Pardon me?
Say her name 10 times fast.
Yeah, good luck with that. So Sarah Bogardus graduated from Fredonia Central, where she set all the school records in basketball on the women's side of the ledger.
Where'd she go?
Fredonia.
Fredonia, okay.
Then she went to Damon College,
All right.
Division II, Damon College, and again rewrote the record books at Damon College.
All right.
She was a two-time All-American at Damon College. She was the Conference Player of the Year 2 times, and she is an inductee of the Damon College Basketball Hall of Fame.
What were her active years?
She played at Damon from 2005 to 2009.
All right, so
you're going to like this.
Yeah.
You're going to like this part.
I'm ready.
She's a teacher at Dunkirk High School now.
Really?
And lives in Mayville.
Right here.
Right here, Sarah Bogardus Burnett.
You said it perfectly.
So I don't think she's fishing today in the pond. But again, when you see her walking around town, congratulate her on becoming an inductee of the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame.
And she lives here in Mayville. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, the next guy, here's a real guy.
Here's a real guy.
Yeah.
No artificial
You're going to
guys.
like this guy.
Oh, look at him. He looks like
Look at this. Isn't that a wonderful photo?
He looks like the captain of the USS Minnow.
Okay,
from
well, you're
Gilligan's
close.
Island or something.
You're close.
All right.
First of all, I'll tell you his name is Richard Sherman.
Okay.
His nickname was Handlebars.
Can't imagine why.
Look at the picture.
For those of you
Look at
listening
that wonderful mustache.
Oh, yeah.
Big flowing handlebar mustache. So, Doc, if you've won an Olympic gold medal, do you think that's pretty good?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Richard Sherman has an Olympic gold medal. He's the 3rd person from Chautauqua County to have won an Olympic gold medal.
Really?
The first is Tara Vanderveer. She was the coach of the 1996 USA women's basketball team, who won the gold medal in Atlanta in '96. She's currently the head basketball coach at Stanford University.
Okay, I think we talked
and
about
she's
her.
the all-time winningest basketball coach on the women's side in America.
From Chautauqua County.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a Chautauqua institution resident
Okay.
in the summer months and has been for well over 50 years. But the second person to win a gold medal in the Olympics from Chautauqua County is the pole vaulter Jen Shore.
Sure.
From
Absolutely.
Fredonia.
Yep,
She
yep.
won a gold medal in 2012.
That's right, yeah.
And now we've got Richard Sherman.
Handlebar.
Handlebars. You're getting it, Doc. So early in Richard's life, he was quite a sailor on Chautauqua
Oh, I wasn't far
Lake.
off then.
That's why I said you almost had it. He was a sailor on Chautauqua Lake, won many local sailing competitions. He was very active in state and national sailing groups. But then the guy got interested in ice skating, speed skating.
This guy was a skater?
No. He got interested in speed skating as an official.
Oh.
So he first he got a timer, that kind of a guy. First in Chautauqua County, and then he kind of moved up the ladder. And at one time, he was the head of the AAU, the American Amateur Athletic Association, speed skating committee. And in 1952, he was named manager of the USA speed skating team that competed in the 1952 Oslo Olympics. He was the manager of that team. And they won a gold medal. And because he was the manager, he also got a gold medal. So 3 people from Chautauqua County with an Olympic gold medal.
No, only because I can do quick math.
Yeah.
1952,
Yeah.
that was 69 years ago.
Yes, Richard Handlebars is deceased, but let me tell you the rest of his life. This guy is fascinating.
Yeah.
He would have been a great guest for you.
Okay.
So, first of all, let me tell you a little bit about his family. Richard Sherman, the name Sherman is a well-known name in the Jamestown area. There was a big furniture factory in Jamestown called Sherman Brothers.
Ooh.
That was started by his grandfather, then his father, and then he took over Sherman Brothers. They also bought Maddox Table Company, another big furniture company in Jamestown. So they were huge in the furniture industry. Eventually, Handlebars sold his interest in the furniture business, and he moved to Lake Placid, New York. He opened up a restaurant called Handlebars, of course. Of course it is. And then he got interested in bobsledding. Now here's a guy that had already done everything you can do in sailing and speed skating, and now he jumps into bobsledding. And he becomes a competitor in bobsledding. And he rises up through the ranks, and pretty soon he's the president of the American Bobsledding Union. And he gets selected to go to all these world championships as a bobsledder. He was not only was he an official, he was an active competitor.
Wow.
Yeah, Richard Sherman, quite a guy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's pull the next slide. That is Lewis Mack.
Okay.
Lewis Mack wasn't born in Chautauqua County, but he moved to the Silver Creek area when he was 3 years old. He played basketball at Silver Creek High School, and then he transferred to Dunkirk High School for his senior year, which was fortunate for Coach Mike Tremuta, because once Lewis Mack showed up at Dunkirk, they went crazy. I think they were 20-1. Lewis's senior year at Dunkirk. They were ranked number 2 in the whole state.
Wow.
The Dunkirk Marauders were, because of Lewis Mack and a guy named Jesse Thomas. So after Lewis graduated from Dunkirk High, he went down to Jamestown Community College and played 2 years down there. And at the time Lewis graduated from JCC, he held 20 records in the JHS basketball record book. He was recruited from JCC, and he went to Division I, Middle Tennessee State University, and played at Middle Tennessee State for 2 years. And his name is in the Middle Tennessee State record book as the all-time assist leader.
Really?
Graduated from Middle Tennessee State and played 1 year of touring basketball with the Harlem Diplomats. Not the Harlem Globetrotters, but the Harlem Diplomats.
Okay.
Same concept. They play all over the world.
Yeah. Cool.
After his year with the Diplomats, he returned to JCC and he became an assistant coach under legendary coach Nick Criolla. And during the 6 years that Lou Mack was the assistant coach at JCC, JCC went to the national tournament several times. Lewis is now living in Florida, and we hope to have him back up here to be inducted sometime this summer.
Well, good on Lou. Awesome.
Lou Mack.
Okay.
Okay, our next person is Larry Rogers. Well, you know, you can't have sports without officials.
There you go.
And we're very proud at the Sports Hall of Fame to be able to recognize outstanding local officials. Larry Rogers was an outstanding football official, baseball, and softball official. Here was a guy that basically worked year-round, moving from one sport to the other. He worked nearly 40 years in all those different sports. He was the president of all the local officials organizations. And when you ask anybody who's been around the sports world who was one of the finest officials in the history of Chautauqua County, that name will come up.
Wow.
Larry Rogers.
That's putting 40 years of abuse and hearing parents yelling at you.
Did you ever yell at him at Ripley? Okay, our next, this is a great story too. This is Harry Carlson. Harry Carlson was born in Jamestown in 1896.
Okay.
Graduate of Jamestown High School, went on to Springfield College in Massachusetts. He got a degree in physical education. His college career was interrupted by World War I.
Ooh.
He enlisted in the Marines and served our country in the Marines during World War I. After he got back from the Marines, he finished his career at Springfield. He got a master's degree at Clark University, and then he started getting involved in coaching. Coaching baseball, football, basketball. He coached everything at prep schools in New England, and eventually at Hamlin University in Minnesota. And ultimately, he ended up at the University of Colorado in Boulder. He started out as just the baseball coach, just the baseball coach. He was their coach for 18 years, and I think they won 11 conference championships as the baseball coach. He became the athletic director. He started the first intramural program at University of Colorado. Later became Dean of Men at the University of Colorado and continued to hold down the athletic directorship position. He moved the Colorado University from the Rocky Mountain Conference into the Big 8 Conference, which is now the Big 10. He was at Colorado for 37 years. He had such an impact on that school that the gymnasium at University of Colorado is called the Harry Carlson Gymnasium.
Wow.
Again, a guy from Chautauqua County doing big things out in Boulder, Colorado.
Wouldn't have known that. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Our next inductee is Christina Keyboard. She is our second martial artist to be inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame and our first female. Christina is a graduate of Jamestown High School. She is an 8th degree black belt. She is a 9-time world champion in sparring.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, she's the real deal. She runs a karate school in Jamestown.
Okay.
At one of the elementary schools and also at the Y. She is a paraprofessional at Love School in Jamestown. And we're just so proud of Christina. Something that isn't really sports related, but certainly we need to tip our hat to her, is she donated a kidney to a total stranger.
Wow.
To let that person live.
Well, good on her.
That tells you something about the heart.
Big heart, yeah.
Of that Christina Keyboard.
Wow. Very impressive.
Our next slide is George Barone. George Barone is a graduate of Southwestern Central School back in 1962. George coached youth baseball in our county for 64 years. Get that number again. 64 years coaching youth baseball.
That's like being locked in a room with cats.
By his estimation,
Wow.
he coached almost 1,500 players and probably 2,400 ball games. And don't forget, this is a volunteer, unpaid position.
64
Nobody's
years.
given George a paycheck for doing this.
Nice.
He was just that committed to the youth of Chautauqua County. He coached in the southwestern area, the Jamestown area, the Sinclairville, wherever there was a need for a coach. George was the guy who said, I'm there.
I'm there.
I'm there.
You know, I played Little League for 2 years up in Buffalo. That's where I grew up. And I have to admit, those were formative experiences for me. Bringing kids together and learning to play and to follow the rules and the camaraderie and things like that. I was very fortunate. I had a nice coach.
Sadly, George passed away last week.
You know, I thought the name sounded familiar.
We knew that he was on hospice care and that he had a short time to live. So the Hall of Fame was able to go to his home and induct him
Awesome. Very
into the
awesome.
Hall of Fame 4 days before he passed
good.
away. He was still lucid at the time.
Uh-huh.
He knew what was going on.
Very proud moment.
It was one of the highlights of my life to be able to
nice.
do this for
Those
a guy.
those-
And
wow.
George Barone, at the number of students, the number of former players who sent letters to the Hall of Fame,
Mm-hmm.
you know, thanking us for inducting George and commenting on the impact
Oh,
that
just like I was
George
saying. Yeah,
Barone
same
had
thing.
on there. Just like you said,
Yeah.
all it takes is one act of kindness.
Yeah. 64 years of it.
And he had 64
Wow.
years of
Wow.
kindness.
Well, George, good on you.
George Barone.
Very
Way to go,
nice.
George.
Yeah.
Our next slide,
He's working
it's
on
coming.
it. Yeah, it's
Well,
coming.
let me tell you.
All right, there we go.
Tell you about Andrew Krieger. By the slide, you can recognize that his sport might have been swimming.
Or sunbathing.
Andrew Krieger was a native of the Bemis Point area. When he learned swimming at a young age at the Jamestown Boys and Girls Club. His coach down there was Tony Lavoie, who is an inductee of the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. Andrew started to show a lot of promise as a swimmer in his teens. He was swimming for the Jamestown YMCA at that time and still holds records at the Y. Because Maple Grove didn't have a swim team or a pool, his parents tuitioned him to Jamestown High School for his freshman, sophomore, and junior years, where he swam for legendary Jamestown coach Bill Rollinger. And Andrew Krieger rewrote the record book at Jamestown High School for the pool in multiple swimming events.
Wow.
He was so dominant at Jamestown High School that he was recruited out of Jamestown High School to go swim for a national powerhouse prep school in Florida for his senior year.
Wait, what? They took him out of high school?
Recruited him out of high school to go to Florida
Wow.
and swim for Pinecrest. It's a national powerhouse in Florida.
Okay.
Andrew went down and had a very successful year at Pinecrest. He was an All-American in 3 different events, high school All-American. He won he won the Florida State Championship in a couple different events. He's a member of the Pinecrest High School Hall of Fame in Florida. He got recruited again when he finished up at Pinecrest. He got recruited to North Carolina State University, and he swam for the Wolfpack for 4 years, a valuable member of the Wolfpack team. Andrew Krieger was a very sharp guy. He went to medical school at the University of North Carolina, got his medical degree, and he currently lives in Erie, and he is a pathologist in Erie, Pennsylvania. Dr.
Dr. Krieger.
Andrew Krieger,
Very-
an inductee of
Great
the Chautauqua
stories, aren't they?
Sports Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And our last slide.
Yes, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah. Oh, that guy's a bum.
Do you have a twin brother?
That guy's a bum. Actually, that is a picture of myself.
Yeah.
The board of directors of the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame surprised me by choosing me as an inductee of the
As they
Chautauqua Sports
should.
Hall of
As
Fame.
they should.
Well, I'm very humbled. I didn't expect that. I was surprised when it happened. I guess they appreciate the contributions that I've had.
How many
in
years have
sports.
you been associated with the Hall?
Well, 15 years. I got involved when I retired from teaching school and coaching. I've been the president for the last 10 years.
Okay.
So I guess they appreciate what I've done.
Oh, absolutely. And folks, if you haven't been down to the Hall of Fame, it's so much fun. So I know you're going to take off on it, so we still have 3.5 minutes.
Good. Let me tell you
Go for it.
what's happening at the Hall of Fame. I guess, I don't want to say we're open, but I don't want to say we're closed. We have a phone number on the front of the door of the Hall of Fame, and it's my personal cell phone.
Which is?
640-6219.
Okay.
I still go to the Hall of Fame every day from 9 o'clock till 4 o'clock. So I'm there working on administrative functions for the Hall of Fame. But my phone number's on the door. So you get to the Hall of Fame, you call me, I'll come to the door, I'll let you in, and I'll give you a personal tour of the Hall of Fame. So we're not technically open, but we're certainly not closed.
Okay.
And we're showing people around every day.
Hold that thought. We have a caller. Good morning, caller. Morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Jim Kurtz here.
This Jim.
Hey, I had a question for Randy. I know they talked about the ice fisherman and didn't know of the 209. It doesn't seem like there's any fishermen, sports fishermen in the Hall of Fame. I just wondered why.
That's a great question. There are no fishermen in the Sports Hall of Fame yet. We have a hunter in the Hall of Fame, but not a fisherman. And here's why. No fishermen have ever been nominated
Okay.
for the Sports Hall of Fame.
So how does someone
We
nominate?
receive nominations from the public. We don't go out and pick people that we want. We receive nominations from the public, and then we act on those nominations. If someone would like to nominate a fisherman for possible induction in the Hall of Fame, you can go to our website, chautauquasportshalloffame.org, look for the tab that says Nominate, and all the directions and the regulations on how to nominate are there, including 2 downloadable forms. However, you can also call me, 640-6219, and I'll walk you through the steps on how to nominate someone to the Sports Hall of Fame, whether they're a fisherman or any other sport discipline.
Jim, how's that sound?
Hey, sounds wonderful.
Give me a call, Jim.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
buddy.
Hey, we got about a minute and a half. You did a lot of talking.
Hey, I think I have a glass of water.
Where is the Hall of Fame located for folks?
We are located at 15 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, which is directly across the street from the Lucy Desi Museum. I like to say that we're on the 50-yard line of Jamestown. I get that little sports reference in there. We're open Monday through Friday. Stop down and see me. I'm there every day. I want to encourage people to visit our website, chautauquasportshalloffame.org. It's a masterpiece. We have like 1,500 pages of information about the history of sports in Chautauqua County.
Amazing.
It's an amazing site, something we're really proud of. We're an all-volunteer organization, Doc. Nobody gets paid for doing what we do. We have a board of directors of 32 people that are all like myself, people that are passionate about sports in this county and want to honor and preserve the history of sports in Chautauqua County.
Well, congratulations on your
Yeah, thanks,
pending
Doc.
induction. And I'm proud to say that I think I know at least 6 or 7 people in the Hall of Fame now, various sports and friends.
There's no doubt that you've been a resident of our county for a long time. When you walk through our
I know
Hall of
people.
Honor, you'll recognize a good number of folks.
Good stuff. Folks, we've run out of time. I enjoy our visit every year, Randy. Come back next year.
I'll be here.
All right. So, Randy Anderson, the Executive Director of the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame, has been my guest. Check him out. He gave you the phone number. You can watch his video over and over again if you want on YouTube. It'll be out there soon. Have a wonderful weekend, and stay warm and safe. Wear the masks, and we'll see you here next week right here on Access Chautauqua 1301. Bye now. You did it. I got look.